Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network.
My Neighbour Zuckerberg is a Indus Vox media production. If you like this podcast, please also listen to Cyrus Says, an irreverent podcast hosted by funny man Cyrus Brocha, who takes a dig at urban India and interviews interesting guests every week. Episodes out every Monday.
Guys, as entrepreneurs, we really don't have the time to figure our closets, especially our footwear and our socks. Luckily, we have the Moja Club solving the socks problem for us. So the Moja Club makes some really awesome funky socks that you can buy individually, or even better, you can subscribe for a period of 6 months or even a year. And they'll even throw in one extra month free. If you're a listener of My Neighbour Zuckerberg, you can get a full 33% discount by just going to their website and using the code My Neighbour Zuckerberg without any spaces in between. I'm going to just repeat that. A full 33% discount, guys, by using the code My Neighbour Zuckerberg. So what are you guys waiting for? Just go to mojaclub.com and get your subscription immediately, man.
You're listening to My Neighbour Zuckerberg.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of My Neighbour Zuckerberg. Again, I don't have my co-host for today. Munaf is unfortunately busy building his company, and I'm sure that I'm going to have him on the opposite end very soon one day. Anyways, today we have a very, very, very interesting guest, on our show. His name is Mr. Thomas, popularly called as CP Thomas, right?
Yeah, that's CP is the initials.
CP is the
Everyone
initials.
calls me CP, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and CP Thomas runs a very interesting company, rather startup, I would say, called the Fan Garage.
Yeah.
Right? What I've understood about the Fan Garage is that it is the destination for all fans, all sporting fans, to be able to fulfill their needs, I would say.
Yeah.
Right, from merchandising to tickets, and it's going to evolve into a destination of that sort, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to waste too much time. I want to allow CP to tell us, dive straight into it and tell us more about the Fan Garage.
Yeah, I think you spoke the right things. It's not at the final destination for everyone.
Okay.
Hopefully we will reach there one day.
I'm sure you will.
Yeah. So the whole idea is to create an ecosystem of fans across sports. Right now we cover a lot of the leagues which happen in India. As you would be aware, after the IPL success, the IPL template has just been, it's
used
almost
for
like
every other sport,
it's like a copy and paste kind of thing, you know. So everyone has an auction, everyone has a league, and so even this year we even will have a table tennis league. So
are you serious?
Yeah,
a table tennis
absolutely.
league as well.
So
we've got a cricket league, which is the IPL. We've got a soccer league.
So you have a cricket league. In soccer we have this thing where we have an I-League and we have an Indian Super League. So there are two leagues running simultaneously.
Oh, okay.
Which should merge this year, hopefully.
Okay.
And then we have the Kabaddi
League, yes.
Then we have the Badminton League.
Oh, yes, correct.
Hockey.
Yeah, hockey.
Yeah, so...
but that's good,
we have
right?
a wrestling league. Yeah, see, what's happened is everyone blames cricket for dominating the sports scenario and everything.
Right.
But actually cricket gave... the
Both.
impetus, absolutely.
To all these
so the
leagues.
IPL happened and people suddenly realized that, okay, each of these sports can be monetized,
Yes.
It's not just about playing and winning some medals here and there.
I heard there was a mixed martial arts
there's
league
a
as
super
well.
fight league.
Super fight league as
so
well.
boxing league is on its
God,
way.
wow. Yeah.
There's a poker league happening.
There's a poker league?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
So
what's the poker league called?
The Indian Poker League.
Perfect.
IPL.
Of course, the Indian Poker League. IPL, guys.
So the qualifiers are on in case you're interested. So,
okay.
So we actually have a calendar of, I think, around 15 leagues running right now.
Oh, fantastic.
So, yeah, it's huge. And so the monies are not great in each of these compared to...
But at least it's a start, right?
It's a great start.
start.
It's a great start.
Yeah.
Suddenly you have, like Kabaddi is the example
Kabaddi.
given by everyone.
Correct.
I mean, you have stars of Kabaddi stars right now.
Right,
you have
of course.
People actually recognize them at airports, go and take autographs, and who would have thought of that,
Yeah. I mean, the good thing is that it's given, us, our generation, people, our next generation, the hope and the aspiration to become a sportsman or a sportswoman.
Absolutely.
Right? And that's the fundamental thing that this country required. When you're a population of 1 billion people, right?
Yeah.
More than 1 billion people, and sports is a good thing to be in. Right?
Yeah, and we have been a sporting nation always.
Of course.
It's just that it's never been channelized properly.
Right.
And that's happening right now. And it's great. So you have the Sindhus of the world coming up, and when you see a Sindhu win the silver medal, comes back, and then she starts getting endorsements worth 50 crores,
Yes,
that's when you say that's serious money. It's like, great, you can afford to spend some time on your child and hope that he or she becomes a sportsman. If it doesn't work, okay, take it. But it's not like
there's still opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
It's not like you just become an engineer, doctor all the time.
Yeah.
So all these leagues have been running. The only bad is a wrong word, but thing is that these are
challenge, I would say.
Yeah, challenge is that these are not leagues per se, in the sense that they are just 15-day tournaments. Even the IPL is just a 2-month tournament.
Right.
So if you take a Premier League or
of course. I mean, that's a year. That's a 6 months,
6 to 7 months.
Yeah.
So ideally that is how it should be running. That's when you can have more fan engagement.
Right.
When you can build franchises, can build loyalties.
So what I'm seeing right now, and it's really exciting me, right?
Yeah.
Is that you created a company pretty much the right time, where India is experiencing, a birth of, multiple sports franchises.
Absolutely.
Actually, creating this kind of hype in the country.
Yeah. So a little background in the sense that I've been in the sports
fraternity
for some time.
Okay.
Okay. I started my career as a sports journalist.
Okay.
Yeah, but I moved on to business journalism and all that.
Okay.
But as fate would have it, I then got into public relations, and I also launched a public relations company.
Oh, sweet.
And the company's first client was IMG, which is the world's largest sports management. So because of that, you got a lot of exposure into how sports is run, managed, and everything. And that's how the Sports Connect again became very strong.
Very interesting.
And naturally, the business of sports was something that interested us, and so I have another company called Sports Power, which is a online media venture. So it only covers the business of sports. So we don't write about the game. We don't cover the game on a day-to-day basis.
Okay.
But any deals that happen, endorsements that happen.
What happened from that particular company?
Yeah. So that's covered, and it's a paid for subscription-based service.
Nice.
So sports thing continued, and within that, that's how we came to know that, okay, there are so many leagues happening. And then one of my partners, he was interested in this, and he had the URL, the Fan Garage.
Right.
So,
your partner had the URL Fan Garage.
Yeah.
So what I've understood from this conversation is that you looked at the sports universe, right? You have spent enough time to understand where sports as a function is growing in a country like India.
Yeah.
And now you've narrowed down to a platform called the Fan Garage.
Absolutely.
Right? So what is Fan Garage's business model? I mean, how are you... what's the revenues like?
Right now, so there's different phases to it. So in the first phase, what we're doing is we write about the sports.
Okay.
So we have the fangarage.com, which is where we write about each of these leagues. Each of these leagues are covered in depth.
Right.
So, and our unique advantage is that we cover only the Indian leagues. So we are not writing about all and sundry. So if you go to any other website, so you'll find cricket about every country being covered.
Okay.
If you go to football, La Liga is covered, Premier League is covered. So there's lots happening out there.
Okay.
So I don't want to be competing with those.
Okay.
See, it's a sad thing, but even if you take IPL, we say cricket is our religion.
Right.
Okay. And we are the largest nation which plays cricket and everything.
Right.
You go to a stadium and you see some faces of some cricketers put out there from the IPL teams.
Right.
I'm sure after the 10th name, you won't be able to name the 11th guy. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a sad thing. Actually, you should be knowing all your neighborhood.
Yeah, correct.
I mean, there's just 8 teams.
Yeah.
And there's just 25 players in each.
Yes, correct.
Of which let's say if you remove 10 each from each team, 80 players are foreign players.
Yes, correct.
So you have 120 Indian players,
Yeah,
of
right.
which 20, 30.
Yeah, at best 40.
Absolutely. So you are having a country which, pursues one sport only, and then still you don't know the players and you don't know what's happening out there. So there's a lot to be educated.
That's quite sad, right?
Yeah, that's quite sad.
Yeah.
And then you go down to other sports, it's like really bad, So you want football to grow.
Right.
Football is growing.
Yeah.
We'll be hosting
But
the under.
I'm sure no one knows any name of any player.
Yeah. Now you know the national players a bit.
Yeah, of course.
Because of some ISL tournaments and all that. But
Correct.
but it's very less.
Correct.
So there's a lot of.
So the first part of the fan garage is providing information.
Yeah, information.
And only about
the
Indian leagues.
Players, yeah.
So you put a lot of content about.
Yeah. So a fan, you are either a fan of a team or a player.
Perfect.
Okay. So you either follow a team.
Right.
Or you follow a player. So like I liked Adam Gilchrist. So
Okay.
I followed him, and whichever team he played in.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I used to support that team.
Correct.
So, but I was actually supporting Adam Gilchrist because I liked him.
Correct.
So as a fan, you want to know more about your team or the player that you're following.
Right.
So you're willing to gobble
Dive
up any
deep
kind of
into
information. Yeah.
Yes, correct.
So the first thing is to give him that information.
Okay.
So give him information about every player. So Washington Sundar is bowling for. I'm sure you haven't heard of it.
I've really not heard about Washington Sundar, yeah.
Exactly. So he's actually in the playing 11 of the rising Pune Supergiant.
Oh my
Okay.
God, okay.
So he's one of the 88 players who are playing the IPL. Okay, you don't know about him.
Wow,
So,
okay.
So that's the tragedy. So you need to, but there are fans of Washington Sundar.
Okay.
There
Okay.
would be.
There would
Slowly,
be. Of course there would be.
If he does well in this IPL, he'll probably get a call to the Indian team, and
Right.
that's how many of them. Jadeja has come in like that.
Oh, yes,
Ajinkya Rahane
correct.
has come in like
Correct,
that. So,
correct.
So you need to build that fan culture, and it's a long way off.
Okay.
So
okay.
even for cricket, it's a long way off. So
Okay.
So again, when the fans grow, the brand grows. So
Ah.
now, if you want, same cricket. I come back to the example, cricket. Biggest thing. Tell me the fourth brand that any company will come. Fourth cricketer that any company will come to sponsor. You start with Dhoni, Sachin,
Yeah.
Virat, and then you are searching.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe Yuvraj Singh at best.
Maybe Yuvraj Singh, who has been.
Maybe Suresh Raina or
Suresh Raina, no way. He's not even got an
Yeah.
Indian contract. this
Correct.
time.
Yeah, absolutely right.
So
Yeah.
it's like sad. So that's why Alia Bhatt and Deepika Padukone are there every second ad. So
Okay.
you really don't have brands.
So we
And
don't have. So what you're saying is fundamentally we don't have enough of sports icon.
Absolutely. And
I
you
mean,
need
the
them.
only
And-
sports icon are the top 3 to 4 cricketers.
Absolutely.
And that's about it. No one else is awarded a contract of getting that particular sports contract.
But there is chance to create an icon. You might have a regional icon. Like Ashwin is probably big in Karnataka.
Yeah, correct.
KL Rahul will be big in Karnataka. So Washington Sundar is big in his neighborhood.
Right.
Probably he'll do a ad for his local brand.
Okay.
So the whole idea is each of these players have their fan following. But how do they grow? You have to give information about them. They have to be known. So one of our jobs is to spread this
So
information.
that's a very good correlation. So for a player's brand to increase or the team's brand to increase, and obviously then the larger the set is the league itself to increase. You need to have fans.
Absolutely.
You have lots of fans. So Fan Garage is trying to be the catalyst.
Yeah.
To be able to create that change, say that hey, you need to start following your own Indian superstars, competing in multiple sports leagues.
Absolutely.
Right? So the more the fan grows, the more the brand grows.
Yeah.
Right? And right now, to attack this problem, is you're giving a lot of information and content currently.
Yeah, so then am I competing with Times of India, which is also doing the same thing? It's giving a lot of information about cricketers. And so how do I differentiate myself? So I do content which none of the others do. So something that we do is the fantasy leagues.
Right.
So we follow fantasy cricket right now very closely.
Okay.
One of the reasons is those who play fantasy know about each of these players.
Because they're obviously they're trying to
They're
make
putting in money.
They're putting in money.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can't. You're not.
When the money is in, you're obviously going to follow everything,
you
right?
Need to, So when I pick Washington Sundar for today's Fantasy 11, the guy wants to know everything about Washington. Why the hell is he in this team?
Yes.
So these guys know each player.
Okay.
They know why a Pat Cummins will be replaced by somebody else, why Tiwari will come in instead of somebody else. So because they are putting in money, they need to know. So they are the real fans.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Of
So
course.
at one level, they are following each
Very
and every
closely.
player. Yeah. So we give a lot of fantasy content. We have a
You'll have your own podcast on the fantasy.
yeah, and it's well followed. And when people start winning money based on our recommendations, naturally there's no better publicity than that.
That's
okay?
amazing.
So that's one of the things that we do.
So other questions, how do you monetize? I mean, how does the monetization angle come into the picture?
Yeah, so one of the things that we have done is what are the other areas that fans are involved in?
Right.
And one of the biggest things is merchandise. So we have got into merchandise. So last year we got the rights for the Pune IPL team, Rising Pune Super Giants.
Okay, so all merchandise will only go through you guys?
Yeah, so we are the official
merchandising partner. Okay.
Yeah, so for fans, and so we create all the merchandise and we sell them.
Okay.
And we are doing it also this season for them.
Okay.
And we were also the merchandise partners for Mumbai FC, the I-League team, the football team.
Nice, amazing.
Yeah, so that's the initial start. So going ahead, once we have got a hang of this, next year we intend to get into many more teams and grow this part. So we also have launched our e-commerce store, TFG Store.
Oh, wow, okay.
So TFG Store will have original merchandise of multiple teams and franchises.
Okay.
So that's one of the areas.
So merchandising is one way of monetization. Content is being monetized as well.
Content is being monetized through the podcast and through advertisements and branded content and.
So I mean, you can obviously approach multiple sports brands and say that this is the kind of traffic that we're getting.
So it's a vicious circle. Once you get the right traffic and once you can get into the right numbers, people will automatically start coming to you.
Okay.
So for fantasy, like we are the only ones. You do a Google search, fantasy cricket tips, and we are top.
So you captured the niche and like made sure you cemented it as a niche.
That's a difficult niche.
Oh, it is a very difficult niche. Yeah, I come from a concept of niche, right? I mean,
so because you are putting your neck out there every day.
Yes.
Telling these 11 players will play, and you put your money on it, and you will win.
You could be wrong also.
Yeah. Many times you are wrong because a lot of things happen.
Yeah, it's cricket. It's a crazy game.
The best example was day before when Pune, every team had Ben Stokes in it because Ben Stokes was bought for 14.5 crores. There was no way he wouldn't play any match, but they benched him. So he probably had a stomach bug or they were resting. So you can't do anything. He was in the team.
Yeah.
So these kind of things happen. But over a period of time, you build credibility.
Okay.
So you're 70% right. People understand that these guys are not, putting out any team for the heck of it.
So we've got merchandising, we've got monetization through content.
Yeah.
Right. What are the routes, current routes that you have?
So the whole idea is, like I said, create an ecosystem of fans and monetize them.
Okay.
So wherever fans go in.
So will you be selling tickets very soon sometimes?
No, I would love to, but that's a very specialized business.
Okay.
And there are very big players in it.
Okay.
If I get the right amount of funding, probably I'll buy one of them. That's the best way to do it.
What about endorsements? Like, the fact that you got access to so many teams, or at least trying to create that access to so many teams. Wouldn't you not be the managers for...
You just need to get a little perspective on how the sports business runs in the country.
Right.
So, like I said, there are very few icons and very few, monetizable players, and all of them are run by either their management companies or...
Right.
So, one of the areas we want to get into is, I keep coming back to Washington Sundar.
Yes.
So,
that's a good example.
Yeah, yes. Washington Sundar is from a certain area and there is demand for him in that certain area for whatever reason.
So how do you increase that demand?
Probably I work somebody with someone like Washington, help build his brand and help him monetize and make some money out of that too. So you identify these kind of players within
So
each sport.
will that be also part of your business where you look at, you identify, say, around
See,
a pool of players?
In
where
a
you
broader sense, it's talent management.
I was going to say, so talent management, merchandising, content monetization, right?
Like I said, wherever the fan is involved, and the fan is involved in all these aspects.
Right.
So I can reach out to the fan, I can do something with them, then I'll be there. And in those areas, I want to be present. Yeah.
Present.
So all these are tied in loosely right now.
Yeah, but you're starting to see a structure very soon.
Absolutely.
Right.
So,
but merchandising is obviously going to be taking the cake, right, in terms of monetary value, or like
ideally it should, but unfortunately in India there's something called where anybody can sell anything without any problem. So you will get the rights, you buy the rights for even an IPL, you buy the rights for X amount, and then you'll be inside the
multiple people
outside
still selling the same.
It's not the same. Multiple colors of the same. So you'll have 10 people coming in wearing 10 different kinds of T-shirts.
Okay.
The logo of the franchise is all twisted and turned. The logo of the main title sponsor is all in different colors, but it doesn't matter. So piracy is a huge problem. Okay. So if you have ever seen an ISL match,
yes,
especially the anywhere one which is played in Kerala, you will see the whole stadium is wearing yellow T-shirts. Okay, the entire stadium, but the official merchandise partner barely sells 500. And it's a 66,000 capacity stadium.
Oh my God!
Can you imagine the amount of money if that is? So like any other thing in the sports business, we are at a very nascent stage in multiple. So all these factors will get resolved and solved. So it's a good space to be in right now.
Okay. So with that, we'll just take a quick break, and we'll come back and understand how we can tackle the piracy issue which plagues a country like India.
Please give me some ideas.
Cool.
Hi, I'm Amit Verma, the host of the weekly podcast The Seen and the Unseen. In my show, I examine the seen effects and the unintended consequences of public policy and private action. I show how policies meant to help the poor often end up hurting the poor. I've done episodes so far on demonetization, GST, surgical strikes, immigration and MRP. And I will continue my forensic assault on the truth in the weeks to come. Catch the show every Monday on iTunes, Stitcher or your favorite podcast app. And go to seenunseen.in for all the latest updates.
So we are back for the second innings with Mr. C.P. Thomas. And
all padded up.
Yeah. He's padded up, and I'm like ready to bowl a really fast ball to him right now. A bouncer. So here's the deal, right? I've understood the business that you are in, right? And we've seen the challenges that this business will face. It's more matter of time and the evolution of how sports will be in this country, and the business will take its own course of action. What I wanted to understand is that you have such a large population, right? The fan garage is going to be, focusing on merchandising, right? I think that's going to be one of the most critical areas in terms of generating revenue, right? How do you deal with piracy, right? I mean, you spoke about piracy, but how do you deal with piracy, like in a country like India? Is there a way to tackle this?
There's a way to tackle. The thing is that, cricket is the best example to go into. See, if cricket with such a large infrastructure in place, everything is in place. It's one of the largest leagues that's happening, the Indian Premier League.
Right.
But even the teams or even a BCCI hasn't given that much importance to merchandise as one of the areas which could, bring in revenue for the franchise. So if the franchise is giving a right to, let's say, rights holder like the fan garage, and it's also the responsibility of the franchise as well as BCCI to ensure that, they work with the outside authorities and help stop piracy. Otherwise, just the rights holder like the fan garage going out and trying to stop piracy is going to be a little
So you need
difficult.
you need the governing body, the franchisee, as well as the three of you all to work together, be able to curb this.
Yeah, but see, like any other thing, everything has to fall into place. Now we talk about merchandise. Merchandise and fans go hand in hand.
Yes.
But where are the fans?
So again, it goes back to the same conversation.
Yeah.
Fans पहले अपने को बढ़ाना है.
हाँ, fans बना. तो अभी IPL ही ले लो. The biggest, I think, franchises which have a good fan loyalty is KKR,
yes.
Mumbai Indians. CSK had
A very
till they
big
were
fan,
banned.
yeah.
So the others have been struggling a bit
Okay.
because they never had a core team. So you had a Dhoni, which he's more Chennai than
Pune.
Ranchi. And right now in Pune. So the fans, want to identify with a team, build brand loyalty over a period of, and then they're willing to spend.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
till that time,
Does not happen.
it's not
I
happening.
think it's going to be an issue.
Yeah. So here you will have an India match happening, whole stadium full, but not even 10 people wearing a jersey. While if you watch a Premier League match, you will see just red or orange.
Everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
And also the beauty is they'll be wearing this season's colors.
Yes.
They will not repeat what they bought last year.
So that's what I never understood, right? Like, how come a Nabil merchant, right, has never been into the whole merchandising thing, right? For me, I'm a very big fan of Saurav Ganguly, right?
Yeah.
I love him, I worship him, and
Absolutely.
if I ever get a chance to meet him, I'll be like, just
Push
because of his
the-
sheer
yeah, you'll do
determination.
anything,
I'll do
yeah.
anything, you
Yeah.
know. But I never bought his jersey. I don't know why. I didn't buy the jersey. Didn't buy his jersey. Never bought the KKR jersey, and I don't know why. I don't know what's the reason why.
That it has to come naturally to you. That, and since nobody else is doing it, probably you are hesitant to do it.
Possibly.
Because
yeah.
I'll tell you, I watched the World Cup finals, India versus Sri Lanka, in one of the pubs.
Yeah.
There were some 300 people cheering India. Not a single person was
Jersey.
wearing a jersey.
Yeah.
While I have one of my football writers, he's an Arsenal and Mohan Bagan fan.
Right.
Okay, so he is covering the match. When a Mohan Bagan match happens, he'll go into the loo, he'll wear his Mohan Bagan jersey and sit and watch the match.
Oh, okay.
So you need
to be in that state of mind.
Yeah, you need to. So that's happening it will happen over a period of time when people start, this is my team, I want it to win, and if I wear the colors, probably it will help it win. These
That
kind of things.
feeling.
Yeah. So
It'll take some
ho
time.
jayega. It's not a big
How
deal.
big is this merchandising market? It must be huge, right? I mean, you got so many teams, you got so many players, you got so many leagues, you got so many, seasons.
Absolutely.
Right? So
it has to be. It's not huge right now.
Yeah.
So like I said, since Sahara sponsorship of the Indian team got over some 6 years ago, but
Right.
still you'll see people wearing Sahara t-shirt and roaming around,
Yeah.
while coming for a match because they've bought it then.
Yeah.
And वो भी pirated ही रहेगा, स्टेडियम के बाहर 100 रुपए में लिया रहेगा,
तो भी वही पहन के आएगा।
वही पहन के आएगा.
But क्यों ऐसा? Just logic ही ऐसा है.
Because also spending power. Okay, let's see. Sport is part of
It's because of
entertainment.
It looks खर्चा है.
Kharcha. No, it's part of your entertainment portfolio.
बराबर.
So when you have X amount bifurcated for entertainment, so what is the entertainment? It's movies, it's eating out, it's holiday, it's buying books, it's X. So you have to be really a sports fan to say ki my first
priority is
out
gonna
of
be
this
this.
100, 50 bucks is for sports.
Yes.
Then I'll see a movie or whatever, So that hasn't happened. So even when we are selling, it's a very price sensitive thing. So you sell at 100, there are takers. You sell at 150, there's nobody. So it's as simple as that. So people will start buying when they get it at the right price, and when they start seeing this as one of their...
A collective movement.
Yeah, absolutely. You will find 10 friends coming for the match, all 10 will be wearing a jersey.
Right.
But if one doesn't wear, शायद कोई नहीं पहनेगा.
Okay.
So it's a movement which will happen over a period of time.
Right.
And like for the Pune matches, we are the merchandise partner. There's no Pune t-shirt selling. It's
Right.
only Dhoni t-shirt selling.
Oh.
You have Dhoni on the t-shirt.
Hence
we
it's
buy.
selling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's Dhoni fans coming.
Right.
It's not about the Pune team anymore. So all this will take some time. The market is huge. There is 40,000 people filling up a stadium for every match.
Right.
And ideally, even 30% of that buys a jersey.
You're home.
You're home. Big time. So
So how's the traction on your e-commerce site so far? I mean, it's been good.
Right now it's okay. It's
Okay.
not so great.
Okay.
Like I said, if you're out there, who will want to go out and buy a jersey?
Yeah. You have to be really passionate.
Yeah, you have to have a reason.
Right.
So
So right now you're focusing on how to create that reason. So
Absolutely.
basically all these podcasts,
Yeah,
the content, so the
absolutely.
content creates the reason
Yeah.
for the merchandising to actually kick
Absolutely. So first you need to identify those fans who are passionate about things.
in. Okay.
Only then can you get into their pocket.
So let me ask you, who's a true fan? How would you recognize a true fan? I mean, what's your definition of a true fan?
True fan is, like I said, Chiranjit Oja, who wears his Mohan Bagan
Everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
And he's proud about it.
He's
super
proud about it.
Yeah.
And it's not about losing and winning.
Yeah.
It's if you look back in your college or school days, you went to cheer your school team.
Yes.
It didn't matter
Whether you
which
won or
sport
lost or
whatever,
which
yeah.
sport was, yeah.
Your team had to win.
Yeah.
You probably didn't understand basketball, but you went and cheered.
Right.
So it's just that the school has to win. So
Right.
that time you'll wear the school colors and go.
Correct.
So same here. If you're going out to... So one of the problems here is that the fans don't have any loyalty till now. So like they're a Virat fan or a Dhoni fan or a Sachin fan. But are you a RCB fan? Are you a Chennai fan? Are you a Pune fan? That kind of loyalty. And that's because of the format of the tournament.
Yeah, and that's wrong, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
in the sense that it's just a 2-month tournament.
Yeah.
It comes and goes, and then there's no
there's
more
no real,
activity.
there's no real
Yeah.
process or
Yeah.
a methodology put into
Exactly.
place on how these teams need to scale up
Yeah.
as real teams and not just as a
Yeah,
a
where
small
the
format.
players are there with you for 6 months, they do engagement locally.
Yeah.
Here, the team comes and goes, the city doesn't
Makes
even
no
get to
sense.
see them.
Oh,
They
yeah.
drive in out of the hotel, go to the stadium, play the match, and they're out.
Yeah.
You know, it's a whole process. We have nascent is an understatement. Okay, so both time.
Wow,
So see, the
interesting.
thing is, the beauty is things are happening,
Yeah,
and it's all happening in the right direction.
right.
There will be hiccups and there will be processes which will... So like Kabaddi League.
No one knew how Kabaddi would become so famous,
So
yeah.
the Kabaddi, first they started with 1 season. Last year they did 2 seasons.
Right.
Okay, now they have realized that again these 20-day tournaments. So this year it will be one long season of 4-6 months.
4-6 months. Yeah.
And it will be probably, I think, 12 or 16 teams.
Wow. Okay.
So then it's a proper league.
So
Then-
awareness, education is coming
Yeah,
into
then- yeah,
various
so-
spaces and sectors.
So the sport will then start picking up where your team is there. So there is a home match. They are there over the weekend, and you know it's all this is going to take time. So we are in a space where
So why did you choose to be in this business? I mean, that's always like baffled me, right? I mean, there's time. I mean, there's a lot of time that's going to be involved, and actually, this country evolving into the space that we want to be in.
So
you know,
like
how
I
did
said,
you get into this space?
There was no grand plan. Things happened. Okay, like I said, we already have Sports Bar, which is a B2B proposition where we write only about the business of sports, and we do offline forums, and we do India football. But it's all with the money part of the sport.
Yeah, you get paid, so you do.
Yeah, and it covers the business of sports. So anybody who's interested in or who's in the industry of sports, they would be involved in that.
Right.
During that time, I ran into one of my partners, Nikhil Jadhav, who already had e-commerce site selling merchandise and everything, and who wanted to do some work with Sports Bar. We got talking, and then the Fan Garage, the idea came up. And the whole idea was, there's no point just starting an e-commerce site.
Yes.
The whole idea is
You
you
create
need to build the ecosystem.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you thought, so how what's the best way to create the ecosystem? Draw people in with unique content.
Right.
Give them stuff that they want to read. So for football, we write some of the best football stories on Indian football.
Right.
Though there are so many other publications, and so the coverage that we do is really exceptional.
Wow.
So you have a audience which comes to the Fan Garage to read or hear what we say.
Right.
So you're building that audience, and slowly we'll start monetizing. See, you have to be there. It's at one level it's a media proposition. So which media, it definitely takes time. There's no overnight success in that.
Right.
People don't come and read and believe you. You have to build your credibility.
Right.
People have to know that you're writing the correct things
Yes.
and that there is a certain logic to what you're saying.
Yes,
So,
yes. Structure.
So it takes its own time.
So what's your next? What's your vision for the next 1 year and 3 years? I mean, how do you see?
See,
fan crowds
right
being
now,
built?
because the money is in
Your plan of
merchandising,
action,
money is in merchandising, and that things are happening there, and it's easy to, and we have had some experience already with that, good and bad.
Yes.
The bad, I need to tell about the bad, because last year,
You should.
we got into Rising Pune Super Giants.
Yeah.
They were a team which was going to be in IPL only for 2 years, but it had Dhoni as captain.
Yes.
Okay, and it had a great team: Kevin Peterson, Steve Smith,
Yes.
Ashwin, Ajinkya Rahane.
Yes. Yes.
So we got the rights. We printed a lot of jerseys. We printed a lot of merchandise, and everything that can go wrong with a team in a season went wrong with Rising Pune.
Yeah.
First, 3 of their matches got shifted to Visakhapatnam because of the drought situation and all that
Correct. Last year.
things. Yeah.
Yes.
Kevin Peterson, Mitchell Marsh, Kevin Peterson, Steve Smith, Faf, all one by one started going home with injuries. And then you had a team. And the worst thing, Mr. Dhoni decided that this season he's not going to do anything. And it was a disastrous season, to say the least. So
whatever you decided, whatever you planned, didn't go as per
everything.
plan at all.
Even the sponsors. See, once the team starts losing, everybody starts losing interest.
Yeah.
So let's say a title sponsor puts in, say, 8 to 10 crores or 15 crores for buying the sponsorship rights. And then he spends another 2-3 crores to leverage the rights. When his team starts losing, वो बोलता है ठीक है यार 15 के और 3 क्यों डालना है? You know, हाँ बंद करो चलो दुकान बंद करो
accounts बंद कर दो अभी.
क्या IPL खत्म होने दो जल्दी. So all the sponsors started losing interest, and so once the team starts losing, it's very difficult, especially for a new team.
Oh, of course, yes.
So Mumbai Indians, CSK, KKR, they have been there. They have won the league. So there the loyal fans are there. They come and they'll cry if you lose, but they will stick with you. Here you're trying to build a new franchise, and so everything has to go right, and everything went wrong. So we have had good experiences, in all the learnings are there.
Right.
So we'll start implementing that.
those.
Yeah. So that's one area we'll be focusing on the next year. Yeah.
Obviously.
So the e-commerce store and merchandising.
Yeah.
Probably we'll get into the sports business a bit with the TFG brand itself.
Oh yes, I think that's a huge play that you have out there, right?
So,
I mean,
so it's TFG apparel.
being the talent management also could be a very big business.
Yeah.
So focusing on that.
Probably get into jerseys and whatever, but branded stuff from TFG. Like I said, wherever the fan is, we want to be there.
Yeah, putting the fan is in the center
of the,
and they're looking at the various things that can be done for the fan.
So like you said, ticketing. It would be great to be in ticketing, merchandise, cover all the aspects. One more great dream would be to have TFG sports bars.
Wow.
Where fans can congregate every day. You want to watch a match, you watch in a TFG sports bar.
And in the sports bar, you're going to only screen Indian-based leagues.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah. But maybe
if you grow, So, but the whole idea is, when you enter a TFG sports bar, you're meeting people who can discuss a match. You're meeting the right guys.
Offline conversations must happen, more chatter in a space.
And then you'll have a kiosk from which you can order your jersey, or you can.
Wow.
And so you create an experience for that fan.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So if we have talent, they come interact with you. So there's lots you can do around the fan.
Nice.
Yeah, and the fan, like I said, once he decides that out of his 100 rupees for entertainment, 70 is going to sports, then you're
you're going to get really rich.
Hope so.
Anyways, this is a fantastic session that we've had with you, Mr. C.P. Thomas. I want to say some interesting things, right? Mr. Thomas also has his own podcasts at IVM, right? So the Fantasy League
so we do 3 podcasts.
Yeah. So you can just say to all the people hearing this podcast that you can hear this podcast as well.
The daily podcasts are the TFG Fantasy Pundit one, the TFG Football one.
Fantastic.
And also we have a season-based one which we run with Ayaz Memon, which is Cricket Wala Chronicles.
Oh, that's yours.
Nice. So TFG and Ayaz do it together. So we have had 2 seasons of that, and the 3rd season is coming up.
Fantastic.
And we do TFG cricket every week. So it's one
Lovely.
of those, yeah.
So you got a lot of
things.
hearing out there, a lot of
Yeah,
listening,
yeah.
good content. You know,
Absolutely. There's no doubt about
the
it. Yeah,
TFG is building.
Yeah, I have been a journalist myself, and from what we read in the newspaper, see, the newspapers and even the online side, they have limitations on what they can write
Yes.
and cover.
Yes.
Here, since the focus is towards the fan, we are trying to give stuff which the fans want. It's very focused, and that's our unique selling
Absolutely.
point. Yeah, absolutely.
So you can listen to all the podcasts that Mr. Thomas just mentioned on the IVM Podcast app
Yeah,
and on ivmpodcast.com.
great.
Right? So today we're going to sign off. I think we've had a brilliant session. Thank you so much. We're really happy to have you.
It's a pleasure.
Right? This is Nabil Merchant signing off from My Neighbour Zuckerberg.
That was an episode of My Neighbour Zuckerberg, brought to you by Indus Vox Media and media partners Inc. 42.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. Sorry to say, but there's been a slight delay due to the apocalypse having suddenly begun. As you can see, there's death, destruction, and chaos taking place all around us. But don't you worry, food and drinks will be served shortly, and I would recommend checking out
IVM Podcasts
to get some of your favorite Indian podcasts. We'll keep you going till this whole thing blows over. Thank you.